the big O. Time for the smoke dance, because it's the fastest dance in land. How about it for our Six Nations smoke dancers? Smoke dancers! At this time, we'd like to welcome track owner.
So the white flag is out. 8 laps of distance for these 9 cars in the Angular Machine and Tool Heat Race number 1. Kyle Patrick, Keith Dempster on the front row. Second row will be the 80 of Chris Steele, the 5M of Brad Malloy. Row number 3, the 40 of Sammy Stice, and the 40. Green flag coming off of corner 4, Kyle Patrick. And Keith Dempster rolled down into corner 1.
Patrick on the inside, he slides up, but Dempster draws even and will make the pass out of 2. Patrick, Ben on the bottom once more, and they're stuck together like glue out of 4.
Wheel to wheel across the stripe. Keith Dempster has a slight advantage at this first lap. Coming down, Dempster now will grab the lead down the backstretch and put some distance, but yellow flag is out for problems up in corner number 4 with a point leader. Chris Steele having problems.
Actually, a little lever under the steering wheel and they can turn the gas on, and that's how you fire these 360 sprint cars in the 410s. So Chris Steele could have been something simple as popping out of gear, but I see Chris Steele up on the burn like he's headed for the pits, Greg. Not something you normally like to see for our competitors. Chris Steele definitely headed for the pits, and tonight is a regular points night. Tough break for the point leader coming into the program.
Yeah, this will already put him behind the game. He would be going to the B main tonight, would have to drive through that to get into the A main, and there's no provisionals, Clint. If you don't make the A main, you don't make the A main. That's plain and simple.
No, you're absolutely right. I got off of Race Time Radio with Joe Chisholm, and we were talking about that on the air. This is probably one of the only tracks around that runs sprint cars regularly, weekly, but even more than that, there is no handicapping. So whether you go to Flamborough or Merrifield or whatever your regular track is that you go to, whether it be Barrie, the top guys are usually handicapped to the back. Here it's an open draw every night, so a guy from Quebec can show up, not be penalized because he hasn't been here all year, have a fair shot at a pole in the heat, a fair shot at making it to the passing points, and it just has provided amazing racing. I don't know what other tracks can get away with it without the top dog winning. We've got 20 top dogs, and they go at it every week, and they're about to get qualifying underway again. Keith Dempster gets on the gas, Greg, and we go at it.
Single file past the OntarioLocal.com restart cone as Keith Dempster will retake the lead with Kyle Patrick second. Jamie Collard scoots up into third. Dave Dykstra back to fourth.
Dempster won passing points Friday. He's got a knack for qualifying here for the CorrPAK sprints, and he works his way once again through 1 and 2. Collard on the hustle now. He gets loose in 2, full on the brakes and gets it going. Greggy Neely turned that one around.
Nice save there by the 7X of Jamie Collard. Meanwhile, across the stripe for lap number 3, Keith Dempster checking out now on the Tilbury Tornado, Kyle Patrick. Collard hangs on to third somehow. Dykstra in fourth, and fifth is Brad Malloy.
A good bit of patience there by Dykstra. He could have easily plowed on the back of the 7 trying to make a crazy pass, but he waited for Collard to get going. It's done by passing points. Dempster, the first one to pick up some tonight, as he'll come around with the lead for qualifying race number 1 and pulling away from Kyle Patrick.
Keith Dempster turning some of the fastest laps we've seen all night at a 13.6. As in practice they were 13.7, so the track got a little bit quicker here for Keith Dempster.
Dempster right through the middle, sort of up to the high groove a little bit. Patrick, the next one, right there with him. Collard, the only one on the bottom. 2 to go for Keith Dempster. Behind them, Dykstra running 4th, and 5th is Brad Malloy.
This time high up at corner 4, the white flag will fly here in Angular Machine and Tool Heat Race number 1, and Keith Dempster will fly underneath it with one more trip around.
Dempster through the backside of 2, up to the high side on the back straightaway. Patrick running second. Third will be Collard as they come off turn 4. Keith Dempster grabs qualifying race number 1. Patrick second, Collard third. Then it looks like it'll be Dave Dykstra in the 5E, and then the 5M on Brad Malloy. Sure. Stites and Muncie will finish this one. They'll be headed for the B main.
So here's your winner of Engler Machine and Tool Heat Race number 1. The driver out of Alton, Ontario, it's Keith Dempster. Keith Dempster aboard the Ohsweken Speedway Rochester Nighthawks Air Express car number 5. Qualifying heat race number 2 coming out on the Speedway in just a moment. Brought to you by Drysdale Racing Products. We have a guest announcer here in the tower tonight. Mr. Steve Young, the voice of the Brockville, Ontario Speedway, is here tonight. Fielded a 40 Rayon here in the 94, it's Stan Zenkin. Let's turn Drysdale Racing Products heat race number 2 over to Steve Young and Tommy Googe.
Thank you, Greg. Thanks for setting me up so effectively. Had no idea this was going to happen. He invites me up into the tower and puts me to work, and I get to call Tony in person. Awesome. 3 race car drivers I cheered for in NASCAR: Bobby Allison, Davey Allison, and Tony. Those are the only 3. Here they come through 3 and 4, ready to get on the loud pedal. Looking them over. Green flag in the air, and we are underway. Down the front straightaway for the first time. Mitch Brown leads him into turn number 1. Nice move by Jonathan on the inside to pick up that number 1 spot.
Boy, Steve, we saw some jockeying on that start there. Jessica Semkin made it 3 wide, and she's really trying to make it up through the field here. Meanwhile, they're side by side at the front between Jonathan and Brown.
3 wide once again. Here's Jonathan to the high side, Brown down low. Cunningham has had a couple of wins here in that number 3 spot in the 71.
6 drivers have won feature races who are in this heat race here tonight. And Brown, at the head of the class right now, got 2 feature wins last year, looking at 3 bounds from the top feature.
Tony's starting to make some progress now in the red number 14, the Office Depot machine, going 3 wide, coming off at turn 4, trying to make a move on the 14 of Huppanen.
Stewart now has gotten that high line figured out, flashed around the outside of Zemkin, 3 wide into corner 3 for that spot.
Well, they cross him up big time down there between 3 and 4. What a great battle between those 3 cars. Huppanen sticking down on the high side, now the low side, I should say. Brown at the front of the field.
3 laps to go this time by for Mitch Brown, and now Travis Cunningham, who's got 2 feature wins this year, is starting to track him down just a little bit. Still a good battle on for that 4th spot.
Tony heading around the outside of Jonathan, and now he's picked up a couple of spots with 1 maneuver. Now running in the number 5 spot. Brown still at the front.
2 laps to go. Brown out front, Cunningham second, Nida third, then is Zemkin and Stewart.
Zemkin got a nice run a couple laps ago, picked up a spot from Tony. Tony trying to get it back, coming down the inside. 2, 3, and 4 as the white flag flies.
Brown comes through corner number 2, nice and straight. Once again, the battle is on for that spot between Zemkin and Stewart.
Here they come to the checkered flag. Brown wins it. Second will go to Cunningham. Third is Nada. 4th is Zemkin and Tony Stewart up into the number 5 spot. Huppanen will be 6th. And 7th spot will go to the 5 of Mahoney. The 94 of Zemkin. And a nice run by the number 10 of Mitch Brown, who's had a good year, Tommy.
Yeah, Mitch Brown, as we see Stan Zanchin go up in smoke here in turn number 2. There's going to be a little bit of track cleanup required here. We see a big stream of fluid down here, but definitely Stewart and Zemkin had a good run going there for that spot. So Stewart gives Zemkin a little bit of a tap on the back end after the checkered flag flew.
What do you make of that, Tommy? Intentional or accidental?
Well, they were racing pretty hard, so I think maybe he was just letting her know that he was there.
Well, the one time down the back straightaway, she come up on him and pinched him up to the wall a little bit when he had a good run. Maybe that's what it's about.
So that wraps up Drysdale Racing Products heat number 2. Thanks, Mr. Steve Young, for calling that one. We'll talk to him a little bit later on. But white flag display. Cars will double up as we get ready for the drop green flag at the O'Neill's Farm Equipment Heat Race number 3. on initial green flags for the sprint cars. They start in traditional fashion side by side. On restarts, they are single file past the restart cone on the front stretch. If you notice that a little bit different. Todd Hoddick, John Burbridge Jr. on the front row for O'Neill Farm Equipment. Case IH Heat Race number 3.
Green flag comes out and away we go. We are on it into one. Keep your eye on Moffitt down on the inside with the 27. He will work the backside at 2. They are tight there with Hoopinen and Burbridge.
Hoopinen is back in the pack right now. Finished second on Friday night in the feature race. Here he comes blasting up on the inside of Hammer Daniels. Meanwhile, Kruder leaving everybody else in his best right now.
Tom Hoopinen certainly a candidate for passing points as they run right now. Started 7th, working on 3rd. If he can get under Burbridge Jr., he may be leading the passing point tally as they get going right now. Hoopinen works his way into 3rd.
Scott Kruder out front of this one, pulling away from Kyle Moffitt, who finished 4th on Friday night after starting at the tail on lap number 5, and Moffitt holding down a solid 2nd place right now. But his teammate Tom Hoopinen is tracking him down.
Behind them, Hoddick in the new line, the 49 working his way into 4th. Now Burbridge Jr. back to 5th in the 31. Hoddick slamming the cushion, hooping it up top as well. But Kruder leads him off of 4 in the 49X.
Kruder will come around and put a lap on Mike Farrell. Kruder setting a blistering pace out here right now. Blasting around that cushion, got a full straightaway lead over Kyle Moffitt. Hoopinen now trying to still catch up to Moffitt, and here comes Todd Hoddick in that brand new car up in 4th.
Farrell down on the bottom as Moffitt and Hoopinen work their way around the outside. Scotty Kruder, white flag out. He looks to be untouchable. Hoopinen up into 2nd, passing 5 cars. I'd hazard against that is the passing point leader, Tommy, as Moffitt with trouble on top of 1.
Yeah, Moffitt pulls off. Just 1 lap left to go. Here comes Kruder, who will get the win. 2nd, it will be Tom Hoopinen, then Todd Hoddick. And then it is the 9 of Howard Daniels, the number 2 of Brad Lodge, the 21 of John Burbridge, and the 15 of Mike Farrell.
So your winner of O'Neill Farm Equipment Case IH Heat Race number 3 out of Cheektowaga, New York in the Batavia Downs and Casino Casey Truck Salvage car number 49. Pardon me, out of Alden, New York in the 49X. That'll be the straight shooter, Scott Kruder. Scott Kruder goes home with the win. Buildings Booster Juice car number 11 is Jamie Turner. In the back row, rolling off in the 7th spot out of Bedford, Ontario in the Crossroad Farms car number 3R. That is Shane Ross and the current 2nd place point man. And he won on Friday night as well. But right here in Ohsweken, Ontario in the Ohsweken Speedway Rochester Nighthawk Case IH car number 0 is the Ohsweken Flyer, Glenn Steyr. Looks like the 67 of Chris Duran will not make the call. He was scheduled to roll off 2nd, so the outside line will run up. And you will see now Dustin Daggett on the outside of the front row with Mikey Krutchka. 8 laps of the distance here in Best Western Cairncroft Hotel, Heat Race number 4.
So Dustin Daggett out front early on in this one, 2nd all-time in feature wins here at the Speedway with 10. And he wants to try to catch up to Glenn Steyer's total of 15 here. Steyer's back in the 4th spot, feature winner on Friday night.
Working it on the high side. He is very fast around the top shelf of this place. Dustin Daggett, Double D leads the way 2 laps into it. Jamie Turner in 2nd, but the man on the move gaining those passing points, and this time the 0 of Glenn Steyrs.
Dustin Daggett has had some bad luck here of recent times at Ohsweken. He's out there flying right now, wants to make up for some of that lost time earlier in the year. Here comes Steyrs on the inside of Turner, can't get that move done.
Down at the halfway point, Double D Dustin Daggett is your leader. Jamie Turner in 2nd. Then it's Glenn Styres, Mikey Krutchka, Shane Ross, Stephen Goldner, and Bobby Crawford.
Styres still working on the 11 of Jamie Turner, and now Turner opens up a bit of a gap. Steve Goldner goes for a spin up here, and we're going to have to go yellow.
Goldner rounded this 8-car heat race lineup. Actually, 7-car with the cancellation of 67 on the first corner. White flag is out. Cars will restart and they will go single file past that right orange cone that you see down on the front stretch. They are not allowed to pass until they get past that cone on the front stretch.
Wow, while we have a quiet moment here, Shane Ross, the driver of the 3R, currently in 5th. He wanted me to mention a couple of his sponsors here that are visiting tonight, Canary Lions and Jericho Road Motorsports. So thanks to those folks for coming down and checking out the racing tonight.
Ready to go back to green flag racing with 3 laps to settle it. Double E Dustin Daggett will get on it quickly, and they will go single file past the cone.
So Daggett hauls it down into turn 1. Styres gets to the inside of Turner and takes over the second spot. Here comes Ross trying to make it 3 wide. Turner off the end of turn 3.
Yeah, Turner gives up a couple of spots there to correct it, and Ross comes right back down the inside and squeezes by for 4th.
Daggett pulling away out front once again. Styres, though, up to second now, and Styres has been one of the fastest cars all year long here at the Speedway. Might flag out a long way to go if we get to catch him, though.
Double D Dustin Daggett works it through corners 3 and off of corner 4. We'll take the checkered flag in the Best Western Karen Croft Hotel heat race number 4. Glenn Styres will be second, Mikey Krutchka third, fourth will be Jamie Turner, then it's Shane Ross, Bobby Crawford, and Stephen Goldner. So there's your winner of Best Western Karen Croft heat race number 4, the 2M of Double D Dustin Daggett. That will conclude qualifying heats for the CorrPAK Merchandising Sprint Cars. Up next.
In the 14H, starts way back there at about row number 5, and he's got a long way to go to get up into a qualified spot here. One of the front runners usually on a Friday night.
Top 6 is where you want to get. Stewart and top 8 we're taking. Top 8. So Stewart and Herbert Jr. in the front row. Lodge and Malloy in 2. Daniels and Shirk in 3. Crawford and Hoopen in 4. Mahoney and Munson in row 5. He'll pick it up as they come through 3 and 4, ready to get the big green flag. Here we go. Green lights are on and away goes Tony. Stewart leads him into turn number 1 for the first time, and he's on it.
Jim Hoopinen got up out of the groove there, got shuffled to the high side, and he's out of a transfer spot as they run right now. Stewart will lead the first lap.
He's showing you we got him a victory on Saturday night at Eldora Speedway with the FRA Sprint Cars, and he just bombs down the back straightaway. It is tight quarters racing around 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Stewart out front, Brad Malloy, a driver who's got one career feature win here at Ohsweken, rides second in the 5M.
And we got one over in 3 and 4, 3-car mishap, red flag out. And Clint's right on the scene quickly. Checking out the driver. Didn't see how that happened. I did see the car going up in the air, and he did get some airtime.
Well, they've all got all kinds of damage here in the stands. Zank in 94, his night is definitely over. Basically, the front wheel is stuck where the rad should be. And they tore up this in pretty good stands, Zank all right in the car. John Berger Sr. with trouble on the top side as well. He got involved in this one. He looks like he'll be able to continue with the 21J. We have a fantastic safety crew here. In fact, Steve, I don't know this, but today they asked for any bets or used up sprint car chassis. The teams donate, a few of the guys did. They practice with their jaws of life, doing education training today. So a lot of the staff are just having a good time celebrating the night that we've got going on here at our
practicing their extrication techniques.
I just noticed when I was walking around the pit area before tonight's race program how good the speakers were in the pit area. See if Muncie can hustle out and pick up the end of this B main. We go. Back to green we go. Stewart leads him down the front straightaway. Malloy in second spot. Lodge in the number 3 spot. 2 laps are in.
Scott Shirk goes for a big slide up here in the 43 and comes to rest. We'll see if he can get to the pit area here. We might have to go yellow once again, and we do.
Yellow out. And just to give you an idea, Tony seems to have picked up some speed. Last lap for the 14 as he came across the line there, 13.822. 13.822 for Stewart on that last lap.
Well, guys, Shirk over there on the 43 on the top side of turn 1. He had a broken nose wing since the outset of about lap 1. So that could have been the issue why he got up out of the groove there, and now possibly problems. Scott Shirk may return, or he may just take it back to the pits. We'll wait to see what they do up there. They get him out of gear. And we'll see, he looks like he's going to make the left and try and continue. Yeah, Scott Shirk going to get refired, guys. So keep your eye. The nose wing certainly askew on the 43 of Scott Shirk. And he's got work to do here in the E-Shine Car Care 43.
And he will get like time to do the 10th lap here. Malloy runs second, Lodge third, Herbridge in fourth, Ryan of Daniel Smith, Mahoney in sixth, Zucca in his seventh. Crawford in the 10C in the 8th spot. Jonathan running 9th in the 81. Nice in the 40 and Boulder in the 30G. Still in competition. 11 cars ready to go. 8 spots up for grabs. So Derek Jonathan in the green 81 is the man on the bubble. Picking it up and laying him down off of turn number 4. Stewart dusts him on the start once again.
Stewart has that Canadian crew chief on his side, Jimmy Carr from Maple Ridge, BC, wrenching on the number 14 every time Tony gets in the sprint car. And right now he's got that thing tuned up just perfect to run around the outside.
Stewart building a nice lead over Malloy in second, line running in the 3rd spot. Jonathan's got his hands full as he battles that 40 car for that transfer spot.
Halfway now in this B main, 5 laps in, 5 to go for your leader, Tony Stewart. As he will start searching around a little bit on the speedway, I do think, as he's got a long way to go to make up some distance in the feature coming up later on.
Well, using a lot of racetrack, taking the long way around the racing surface here at Ohsweken Speedway. As he flies down the back straightaway, opening up to a full straightaway lead over Malloy. And look at Hoopin and making moves in traffic.
So Haver Daniels right now in the 9NZ is your final transfer car, holding down that 8th spot. No pressure on him right now, but he wobbles on a turn 4.
Once again, Hoopin picking up another spot as he goes to the outside of Lodge. He's been the man on fire, but Stewart still leads 8 laps in.
Stewart starting to put laps on some of the back markers, coming up on the 43 of Scott Shirk now, and he makes his way around. He will come around and get the white flag this time by for Tony Stewart.
Last lap for the 14, the 3-time Sprint Cup champion. Also, IndyCar champion in days gone by, the old Indy Racing League. Here he comes out for a lap off the 4, checkered flag for Tony Stewart. Second spot will be Hoopin came through the field. Malloy grabs 3rd. Lodge is 4th. Herbridge in the 5 spot. Goldner 6th. Mahoney 7th. And 8th and final spot on the last lap goes to Crawford in the 10. Thank you once again, gentlemen. That was an honor to work with you.
Thank you, Steve Young, voice of the Brockville, Ontario Speedway. We got you to announce a heat race with Tony in it, but I thought, you know what, we'll give him the B main. Now you can say you've announced the race Tony Stewart won. There you go, my friend. And we're always so grateful every time we've ever been to Brockville, Ontario Speedway. Steve's always been very hospitable and invited us into the tower, and we've been able to promote Ohsweken Speedway down in the eastern tracks. So we thank you very much. I'm glad you could join us here tonight from Brockville.
Collard and Styres into turn one, but look at Dustin Daggett making a move. Collard though fights back.
Trouble for Stephen Goldner up in corner one. He'll loop the 30G around, keep the foot in the throttle. We stay green flag racing.
So Collard has the lead momentarily. Here comes Daggett down to the bottom side. Another time. Fireworks in the air and also on the track here. Collard now opening up a lead.
Jamie Collard comes across the complete lap number 2, but Dustin Daggett in second, yellow flag on the speedway. On him. And that will definitely play a factor in the handling for Dustin Daggett in the 2M.
Yeah, Dustin's got his front nerf bar right on the back end of Jamie Collard, and I think that's actually what caused the front wing on that car to collapse. You can see it sitting forwards, and I think it might fly up when we go back green here.
Back underway here in the AMA. Jamie Collard, your leader on the high side. Dustin Daggett down low. Jessica Zemkin and Glenn Styres switch back and forth. Troubles meanwhile for Scott Kruder in third.
Yeah, Kruder almost got into the backstretch wall there, had to back out of it. Dane Nida sideways out of turn 4, almost contact there as well.
Very close right there, close call racing. Meanwhile, mid-pack, Tony Stewart not able to make any ground as he's got the youngster Shane Ross on his back bumper.
Justin Daggett definitely fighting an ill-handling car with that front wing coming off. Really sideways out of turn 4. Now some contact there as Styres puts the slide jump on.
Crazy racing between Dustin Daggett and Glenn Styres as they go at it back and forth. Glenn dives down to the inside, trying to make the move down in corner one.
Jamie Collard would be loving this if he could see behind what's going on. He's
Travis Cunningham around behind you, Tommy.
And everybody does a good job to avoid the spinning car of Travis Cunningham.
Keep one.
Don't forget also, guys, the procedural rules involved here. If that nose wing comes off Daggett's car and ends up in the track, he could be sent tail for causing a caution for debris off of his car. So he is praying that that nose wing keeps together. Greg, back to you for the green start.
Dale Shenneman with green flag in hand as we get ready to go back to racing. Signal file past the cone, and we're back at it. 4 in, 21 to go here in this AMA.
Collard on the top side, Daggett trying to make a bid on the bottom. That doesn't work. Here comes Styres. And now Styres got tangled up there and falls back. Here comes Zemkin.
Styres really had to get on the binders there as Daggett pushed him way up into the wall. Now the driver on the move, the 1Z at a Sprintcars New York. Jessica Zemkin into second.
Daggett is really fighting that 2M right now. Almost parked it up in turn 1 as he does not have any grip on the front end, but still somehow holding on to that second spot.
Jessica Zemkin in the second spot right now. Glenn Styres flies off the track in corner 2, loses a handful of positions. Tony Stewart gets by Styres.
Look at Stewart almost up. He is in the top 5 now, fighting with it with Tom Hoopinen. He won the B-Main, started way back in this field.
What a comeback run by Smoke. Tony Stewart into 5th, but he's got Tom Hoopinen to the outside of him.
Well, Hoopinen is a former track champion here. He's not going to give up that spot very easily, even if it is Tony Stewart. These guys are racing for points, and Hoopinen is in the top 5. He throws a slider at Stewart. Stewart crosses back under.
Right back down under him. He goes into the 5th spot. Meanwhile, out front, Jamie Collard leading the way. Jessica Zemkin in second. Dustin Daggett third. Scott Kruder fourth. And Tony Stewart sitting in 5th.
The top side in 1 and 2 is really going away. The cushion right up near the edge of the track, and some of these guys are flirting with disaster up there, including Jessica Zemkin that last lap.
10 in, 15 to go in this one with Jamie Collard sitting out in front. He's reaching lap traffic. The first car will be Bobby Crawford. Jessica Zemkin sitting in second. She gets a challenge from Double B, Dustin Daggett.
And Collard will like what he sees here. He's been running the top side all race, and the slower cars are running the bottom. As I say that, though, Brad Laud and John Burbridge go side by side.
The battle is on for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th position. Meanwhile, the leader working through heavy lap traffic as he gets around Crawford, now working on Brad Laud.
And Collard, as he moves up through this traffic, is going to encounter some more heavy stuff. And Stewart is up into the 3rd spot now, the 4th spot.
Trouble in corner 4. Connor Mahoney goes around, keeps the gas in it, but the yellow flag had already flown. This is the yellow flag that Tony Stewart wanted. He's made up a ton of ground on the bottom groove. He sits in 4th.
What a marvelous bit of driving by Jamie Collard as the car got spun out right in front of him. Did a great job to get load up, get turned, and keep it out front. Good bit of driving there by Jamie Collard.
Jamie Collard is your leader. Jessica Zemkin sitting in the 2nd spot. 3rd is Dustin Daggett in the 2M. Then Tony Stewart. What a run for him coming out of the B main. He's up into 4th. And guys, he's making hay on the bottom lane. As you said, Tommy, under green flag conditions, that top group going away.
Doing a great job keeping it up there, but he definitely is going to have his hands full with the front end of the 2M.
Fortunately for him, it slid forward instead of flipping back into his field of vision. So for right now, at least it's in about as good of a position it could be if it's going to break.
12 laps in, 13 to go in this CorrPAK merchandising sprint car A main as we'll get back on with the green flag in the air. Jamie Collard and Jessica Zemkin lead them into 1.
Single file, they go past the cone, but quickly they span out 2 and 3 wide as Zemkin made a bit for the lead. Here comes Stewart on the bottom of Daggett.
Zemkin on the inside with Tony Stewart in her tire tracks. Halfway mark is at 13 and 12 to go here in this A main.
Zemkin throws the big slider on Collard. Here comes Collard trying to make a run to the inside. Stewart still trying to get around the 2M of Daggett. Not able to do it yet, and here comes Styres back into the fight in the 0 car.
Yeah, Glenn Styres lost a bunch of positions a while back in this one. Now he's into the 4th spot, and he's gaining ground on Tony Stewart.
So Zemkin now the leader by 3 or 4 car lengths. Stewart going after Collard for the 2nd spot, and he will clear him going into turn 1.
Zemkin running the middle groove right now in corners 1 and 2, way out high in corners 3 and 4 as it's wheel to wheel. Tony Stewart and Jamie Collard. It's going to be Zemkin and Stewart at the top.
Zemkin has been close to feature wins here at the Speedway before. Now Stewart switches back up to the top side now that he's clear of the rest of the field. Styres up to 3rd.
How about the players we have at the top of the field? Jessica Zemkin, your leader. Tony Stewart in 2nd. And here comes Glenn Styres, hunting both of them down.
Yeah, Glenn made a mistake earlier in the race, and now up over the berm in turn 2. He goes once again. Still holds on to the 3rd spot. Stewart's starting to catch Zemkin.
Lap traffic again is going to play a factor. Stewart's right there within striking distance on the 1Z of Jessica Zemkin.
Slower traffic is going to play a factor. Zemkin switched lanes there, and it didn't work to her advantage. Here comes Stewart to the inside.
Zemkin stays up high off of 4. She'll maintain the lead as she'll work to the outside of the 5C of Connor Mahoney with 19 in. 6 laps to settle it. Who's it going to be? Glenn Styres again high off the banking.
Well, Glenn caught a little bit of a rut there that time and slid up high. If he hadn't been making mistakes, he might be up in front of these 2 drivers.
Coming down. 5 laps to go as they cross the stripe this time. Zemkin to the high side of Bobby Crawford. Stewart losing ground now as there's a bunch of slow traffic right in front of the leader.
Yeah, a bit of a melee there between Jamie Turner and Shane Ross, and that's not what the leaders wanted to see, but they keep it going. They're racing 3 wide right in front of them, though. Still a few laps to go. Traffic is going to play a factor.
This time by, we're left with 3 laps to go, and the leader is mired in heavy traffic. 1, 2, 3, though, they're all right there. Stewart into the lead for a moment, and here comes Jessica Zemkin on the high side.
Heavy traffic. Stewart splits the lap cars, and that may prove to be the winning move as he opens up a bunch of distance there over Zemkin.
How about this? Tony Stewart is in the lead. Jessica Zemkin in second, and here comes Glenn Styres as we're coming down to the white flag.
Stewart now out of turn 4. He'll get the white flag this time by. Styres gets around Zemkin up into second. Does he have time to catch Stewart?
One more time down the backstretch. Here comes Glenn Styres. They're going at it. Fans are getting excited. Styres makes one more charge. Down to the checkered flag, and at the line, Tony Stewart goes to victory lane.
Styres will take second, third Zemkin, fourth. As they come around will be Jamie Collard, and then it's the 2 of Dustin Daggett.
Wins the top 3 and the other. Glenn Styres said he was going to beat Tony. He came up a spot short. What a battle between these 3 here tonight. Tony, there's the hardware. You must absolutely love this place.
Yeah, and I love nothing more than beating that blonde-headed girl over there.
Now, Glenn Styres, he kind of threw out a challenge too. He said, I'm going to go out there and beat Tony Stewart. You got the better of him tonight too.
Yeah, he was coming, I think. Where we were running was kind of going away, but we had to use it to get through the traffic. So the great thing is the racetrack was awesome tonight. There were 3 places you could go. You could go to the bottom, in the middle, of the top, and it's hard to do for a racetrack. So Glenn and his staff did a good job getting prepared.
Get through that B main and getting into the A. Did you really think you had what it was going to take to get to the front? Did you think the track was going to allow you to get to the front like you did?
I mean, the track was there for sure. It was just a matter of making the right decisions. I got a really good break one lap. I think we got by 6 cars in 3 and 4. So it just was little things like that we needed. The cautions came out early, and we got about 6 or 7 cars really early in that. And a short race like this, we needed that help.
Now, Glenn, basically earlier on, stalked you, followed you. Are you glad that he followed you and told you about Ohsweken and got you to come out here?
It didn't take much for him to get us out here, and him and everybody here at Six Nations. You guys have been so good to us last year, and everybody in the pits has been good. I mean, we're going to be down there for a while signing autographs, and everybody just kind of let us race tonight. So we enjoy this. This isn't a big stretch to get us here.
You got a lot of supporters that help you with the dirt side of things. Who would you like to thank?
I got Jimmy Carr and Marty and Eric. Jimmy's from Canada here, so it's nice to always win here for him. And it's nice to be back on Hoosier tires. Unfortunately, we got to run on Goodyears again tomorrow, so the nightmare continues tomorrow night. But at least we got to race on real tires tonight.
There you go. He'll tell you. Look at this. Tony Stewart in victory lane. A storybook ending. And we'll move in with Glenn Styres, Glenn Jeffrey with Glenn Styres.
Well, Glenn, you said you were going to kick Tony's butt. You came about 50 yards short. Who thought Glenn might have had him out of 4? One more lap, you might have had something for him, boss. But he was quick tonight. Talk about what this means for you to have another fantastic show as we gear up for tomorrow's big events.
You know what? Anytime Tony Stewart wins, it's going to be on national TV all across America and Canada, and it's going to really help us out a lot. But you know what? I thought I was going to get him. I was all over him. He was getting all bent out of shape coming out of 2 there. And I was nearly running into the back of him and had to check up a little bit. But we were close, and I cannot believe how much harder you have to drive to keep up with Tony Stewart, man. It's insane.
All right, Glenn, we'll turn it over now to Tommy and the guys are standing by. Greg's standing by with our third place finisher. How about for Jessica Zemkin? She put on a great show tonight as well.
Jess, phenomenal run tonight. Last year this track changed a bit and you said you struggled with it, but tonight you were right bang on with this track. You had to be happy with your performance in this feature.
Yeah, I got to thank my crew, Darren and Michael for helping tonight, and I just had some really good guys and a lot of support, and the car was really good tonight. I got to thank especially CorrPAK merchandising for sticking with me and backing me and helping me. I wouldn't be here without them, that's for sure. Don and Wendy up there in the stands, they're awesome, and it's all to them really that I'm here. And the track was awesome, and it's good racing. Just got caught up in the lap cars, and that just killed me. And I knew they were coming, and it's hard to be up front and not know where to go when the track got really wide and slick, and I was just a little bit too loose, but at least he got one so he could quit whining now.
Now, more words here in victory lane tonight. Jessica, though, you go in the pit area, no one works harder than you. I went over to talk to you today, and your hands were all greasy. You're working on the car. You get right in there. So it has to be a little more rewarding when you know you put so many hours just yourself. I know you mentioned the crew, but you work so hard on this race car.
Yeah, to put a lot of time into it, I enjoy it, I love it, and the harder I work, the better it seems to go. So I'm just going to keep going, and we'll get there.
Will we see you back for the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals?
Yes, I'll be here.
There you go, folks. Jessica Zemkin will be back. Let's hear it for third place, JZ, Jessica Zemkin. So that will wrap it up for tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow night, it's the Six Nations Showdown. The World of Outlaws will be back here at Ohsweken Speedway, 7:45 start time. As they'll do the photos in Victory Lane, the horde of photographers, and what I'm sure will be an awkward Victory Lane shot going on right now, folks. You heard it here tonight. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night. For more information, OhswekenSpeedway.com. Remember to join us on Facebook, on Twitter. As we've seen a phenomenal finish, Tony Stewart going to Victory Lane. Folks, you came to see Tony. How happy are you that he won here tonight? All right, well, he'll try it again. He'll try to defend his World of Outlaw win from 1 year ago. I want to thank you all for joining us here this evening.